So the debate continues to rage about NFT and blockchain as it pertains to Square Enix and what they're going to be doing with the future of their games, development, that kind of stuff. Before we go any further, please consider subscribing to the channel. Helps me out a ton. Throw a like on the video and talk about this video a little bit in the comment section. Helps me out a lot. I appreciate all the love and support. So also follow me on twitch.tv/Ray Coffman for live discussions and gameplay stuff and general tomfoolery. So without any further delay, let's get into it. So a little over a week since they sold off Eidos, Crystal Dynamics, basically their Western studios, a new report has surfaced from VideoGamesChronicle.com. They have been very accurate with reporting things in the past as it pertains to video game insider business industry, stuff like that. And this is fascinating. But shout out to Tippy Power on Twitter for shooting me this article. They asked me what I thought about this. I thought it was a fascinating enough read to share with you all because there is some coded speak in here that I think we're going to get some answers about NFT on. So basically the article talks about, the cell, blockchain, AI, the cloud, all that kind of stuff. In its financial results published on Friday, the Final Fantasy publisher was able to further explain its reasoning behind the sell-offs. It said the sales would allow it to achieve sustained growth through selection and concentration of company resources. We talked about that, and I'll get into that here in a second. Better aligning overseas publishing operations with its Tokyo HQ and focusing on new businesses such as blockchain, AI, and the cloud. So it says selection and concentration of company resources. Basically, that talks about what we have been saying about investing more in their developers and their ability to work remotely. That's not the whole thing there, but that's a part of that thing there, investing in their resources. Resources they already have. We talked about that. I think this is totally 100% addressing that partly, right? So, and then it gets into, it says, and focusing on new businesses such as blockchain, AI, and the cloud. So that's in addition to. But the main point is selection and concentration of company resources. That's the main point. And a sub-point is in addition to focusing on new businesses such as blockchain, AI, and the cloud, if you all follow me. So the company said it intended to reshape its digital entertainment portfolio partly through creating new IP, speeding up decision-making through an integrated group management, and by boosting game development capabilities by establishing new studios, M&A, etc. Okay. So, reshaping its digital entertainment portfolio, cell phone games, mobile games, things like that. And also, it could be talking about shows. We know there's a Final Fantasy VII show reportedly in development with Netflix. There's the Final Fantasy IX animated series. That could be a part of that, and they want to put money into that. Of course, I think outside investors will also help with that, and Netflix will probably also help with the final. Any show you do with Netflix, if they don't buy you out, they're going to have exclusive streaming rights, so they're going to pay to produce it, basically. So they want exclusive streaming rights. If they don't have exclusive rights to the IP, they want exclusive streaming rights to that particular show. So any other thing like the Final Fantasy IX animated series, I think would have to be that could be partly what this is talking about, because that's an outside company doing that. So also, although it may seem surprising that Square Enix is already looking to establish studios so soon after selling established developers, it's likely the company intends to pursue a different direction more closely aligned with its latest company goals. In a statement, this is what I wanted to get to. In a statement issued alongside the Embracer announcement last week, Square Enix said that going forward, the company's development function will comprise its studios in Japan, Square Enix External Studios, and the Square Enix Collective. Now, what that says to me is, it added, the company's overseas studios will continue to publish franchises such as Just Cause, Outriders, and Life is Strange. We knew they were keeping those. The president of Square Enix stated last month the company's Japanese studios shouldn't try to make games aimed specifically at Western players. Here's the part I wanted to get to. In an interview with Yahoo Japan, Yosuke Matsuda explains that while it's vital that Square Enix games sell well on a global scale, It would be a mistake if its Japanese developers tried to imitate the Western style of games. Okay, now that's a twofold statement, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about the positive first. Let's talk about the positive. Obviously, the positive that comes out of that is we are going to get back to what made us who we are. We're going to see a lot more Squaresoft and a lot less Enix. That's what I think moving forward. We've talked about that. I've got a video in the pipeline for this coming week, ready to rock on Wednesday, how Squaresoft and Square Enix are not the same thing. People need to stop confusing those two things, right? This, to me, sounds like we're going to get back to basics. We're going to get back to the foundation. We're going to build this house back up. We're going to take out all the dry rot in the walls, all the old electrical, all the stuff that doesn't work anymore. We're going to rebuild this thing. They're going to get back to what brought them to the big show. And that's great stories, JRPGs, great storytelling. I think you start there, and then if you want to try this and try that, you can do that. But I'd say this is a 5 to 10 year plan. I would say from a marketing standpoint, the new direction for Square Enix is probably going to be a 5 to 10 year plan. They want X amount of games out. They want to get back to the roots of storytelling. They want to get back to great JRPGs and that kind of thing. I think this is where we're going. I think that's where it's heading. So getting back to basics is what this is saying on the positive. Now on the negative, let's talk. We got to talk about this too, because we know for a fact that Western audiences have pushed back hardcore against NFT. Whereas in Japan, the gambling lifestyle with games and stuff like that is super cool. It's like the thing, especially on your mobile devices, your tablets or whatever. Gacha games, like any kind of game where there's like a gambling aspect to it, you can use NFT, blockchain, all that kind of thing. They are saying with this statement as well, I feel, this may be off, but I feel like this is saying what other Western companies are doing, studios shouldn't try to make games aimed specifically at Western players. Japanese studios shouldn't try to make games aimed specifically at Western players. They said players, which means they know we don't care about NFT. Their players don't mind NFT. There's a gambling aspect to it. There's a gotcha aspect to it. That's what this is saying. So guess what? They might be getting back to basics with JRPGs and stuff like that. But NFT and blockchain, it's totally happening. Whatever they develop, I feel like after seeing this statement, it's going to be completely integrated. I think that's what this statement is. I read between the lines like we talk about all the time. This is a release. This is a press release from Square Enix. Totally okay for them to talk about it. They put it out there. They're letting people know. They're not coming out and saying NFTs are coming. They walked back what they said at the end of the year statement, right? They've walked it back, and now they're presenting it in a different way. Marketing speak. There you go. There you go. They're saying the exact same thing right here that they said in the end of the year statement, but they're putting some butter on it. They're putting some garlic pepper on it. They're putting something sweet on it. You know, I mean, they're making it taste better. They're making this bitter pill go down a little sweeter. They're giving you some strawberry syrup with your amoxicillin, basically. That's what this is. So, yay, we're getting back to basics with JRPGs and those types of games. But boo, NFT is totally coming. It's going to be developed simultaneously with these games. I think they're going to have a 5 to 10 year plan. I don't think it's going to be in everything, but I think Square Enix is going to develop a feature. I think that feature is going to be something like, they're going to call it something. They're going to call it like, Square Enix like fantasy trade or fantasy bucks or fantasy points or like, fantasy assets, some kind of thing like that. They're not going to call it NFT. They're not going to call it block. It's not going to address that stuff, but that's going to be what it is. They're going to put their branding on it. They're going to brand it as something else, but that's what it's going to be. And it's going to be right there on the back of the package. Contains fantasy assets library. Keep track of your fantasy assets library with... No, that's that's what they're doing. That's what it's going to be, folks. They're going to brand it some way, and they're going to, yeah, it's coming. This statement right here, it's coming, unfortunately. So, Atlas, Nihon Falcom, Capcom, please do your homework on this. This is going to push a lot of Western players away. Not all of them. You're going to have those that complain about it, but then still like secretly get it, secretly do it, you know, because they can't stay away. I won't boycott Square Enix. I'll still play the games, but whatever the NFT aspect is to the game, I'm not going to participate in that. But if a game circles around an NFT aspect, I don't care if it's a Final Fantasy Tactics remake, Chrono Trigger remake. If it revolves around NFT, I'm out. So, anyway, post your comments below. Let me know what you all think of this. This is interesting. This was a very interesting read. A lot to digest in this short little article. But like I said, there's a lot of marketing speak, a lot of company PR lingo in this. So we sat here and dissected it. So anyway, throw a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel helps me out a ton. You all coming here liking what you see, I appreciate the love and support. Consider becoming a YouTube channel member or a Patreon member, and follow me on twitch.tv/Ray Coffman, so you know when I'm going live and we do these discussions and we play games, we have some fun on there. So check me out on all those things. And until next time, y'all have a great day. Be safe, be good to each other, keep rocking. I will see you all next time. I want to say a quick thank you to my YouTube and Patreon members and supporters. If you would like to support the future creation of content on this channel, get some few extra perks and some art sent to your door every month, consider becoming a Patreon or YouTube member. Details and links are in the video description.